Kingdom Hearts is one big crossover between Disney and Final Fantasy. It takes characters, world and story elements from both and throws it all together in one game. The series started off simple, but over the years the story and lore of Kingdom Hearts expanded and got a little bit confusing. Well, actually really confusing, to the point where you need 5 different charts just to understand one character. Even till this day, there are many questions about Kingdom Hearts that keep many diehard fans of the series awake at night. Questions like, where do the Final Fantasy characters come from? Why won't Donald Duck heal me until I use a healing item? Who are Sora's parents, and will a certain character always be useless? But none of these questions really matter, as there's only one single question on all our minds. Can I play Kingdom Hearts 3 without playing the other games? The simple answer is yes, you can definitely do that, but you won't understand a thing on what's going on in the story. You could play all the games in the series, but that would take you roughly 150 plus hours, and let's be honest, these days we don't have time for that. But don't worry, you don't need to do that at all. I got you covered with this casual recap of Kingdom Hearts. Or well, at least the first game of the series. Anyway, after you have watched this recap, you will know everything there is to know about the first Kingdom Hearts game, while saving a lot of your precious time. So, with that all being said, let's not waste any more time and just get started.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not?
I can understand why Sora thinks this whole crossover isn't real. Disney heroes and Final Fantasy edgelords in the same room, Disney worlds sharing the same universe, and where all other characters are basically born out of one single character. Real or not, it's definitely nightmare fuel. Which doesn't help Sora as he's having a nightmare right now. I would have liked to tell you what the nightmare was all about, but I had my eyes closed because it was way too scary. He, however, wakes up to even a bigger nightmare called, what's her name again? It's probably not important. Anyway, Sora's best and only friend, Riku, joins the gang and talks about the raft. For you see, Sora and the gang are building a raft to leave this island and visit other worlds. I guess this raft somehow has the ability to warp through dimensions, or I don't know. It at least can do something that these normal boats that they have can't do. But the raft isn't completely done, so we collect some resources and food for the trip, and of course name the raft. Now, I could have thought of a cool name or a name that makes my enemies tremble in fear, but of course I got stuck on my Fortnite username. At least now the raft is good to go, but before Sora can leave the island, he needs to visit the Nostalgia Cave for one last time. Sora gets all nostalgic, while at the same time vandalizes the cave wall with writing something offensive on it. It's so offensive that Death itself appears in the cave and tells Sora that everybody he knows is doomed. But Sora doesn't give a fuck. However, it would have been a good thing if Sora paid attention, as it turns out Death was telling him something really important about the door in the cave. The door is connected to other worlds and tied to the darkness, and as you can guess, as this is a Disney story, the darkness is evil and tries to destroy the island by dropping a big purple slime on top of it. As the island is being consumed by darkness, Sora starts to look for his friends and finds Riku, who has started a long edgy dialogue about not being afraid of the darkness while being consumed by darkness. Great timing, Riku. Great timing. Anyway, while Riku is being consumed by the darkness that he didn't fear, he tells Sora with his dying breath that the door has opened in the Nostalgia Cave and that Sora needs to go there. So Sora goes to the Nostalgia Cave and finds, damn it, I need to figure out what her name is. Anyway, What's-Her-Face is a bitch and throws Sora into a boss battle.
How rude.
Meanwhile at Disney Castle, Donald Duck is in a complete panic. King Mickey disappeared, though he left a note which states that the stars have been blinking out and that disaster cannot be far behind. I am pretty sure science can explain what is happening, but instead they're going to look for someone with a key that is the key to our survival. Heh, get it? Key to our survival. Nice one, Mickey. Anyway, back to the point. He sends Donald and Goofy to find and team up with this key person. They have to travel to Traverse Town and meet with Leon. He's an edge boy from Final Fantasy and logically knows where to find this person. So off they go to Traverse Town, and on their arrival, the search begins. Will they find this person in time, or will darkness consume— Oh, never mind. Pluto already found him. Nice one, boy. Now, if Donald and Goofy hurry up and follow Pluto, their mission could be over very quickly. But as usual, Donald has to be a dick, so instead of completing their mission, they got lost. Thanks a lot, Donald. While Donald and Goofy are lost, Sora finds Leon hanging around in town. He seems a bit jelly, as Sora has a giant key and he doesn't. Boo-hoo, you really got something to be jelly about, Leon. I mean, a sword mixed with a gun surely doesn't look as badass as just a giant key. So while Leon is crying, he tells us that these dark minions keep following Sora because of the giant key he's carrying with him. But Leon would gladly trade his sword for Sora's giant key. However, Sora doesn't want Leon's stupid sword, which makes Leon angry to the point where he tries to slap some sense into Sora, which he went a little bit too far in. After a while, Sora seems to wake up, only to be greeted by another nightmare. Jeez, Sora can't get a break from all these nightmares. But on the other hand, thank goodness it's a nightmare. Imagine if she was real. Now that Sora is awake, Leon and his edgy friends start to throw out of nowhere a lot of exposition at Sora. While at the same time, the room next door, Donald and Goofy get the exact same exposition dumped on them. What are the odds? Oh, well, most of what they tell Sora you already know, and it's not really important, but I will go over it very quickly. All the Disney worlds are in the same universe. Those dark mains are called heartless. Everyone has darkness inside their heart. Darkness inside people's hearts is what attracts the heartless, but they are attracted to Sora because of the giant key, as that is the MacGuffin weapon that the heartless fear the most. There was this guy that did research on the heartless, but his Dropbox got hacked, and now all the research is shattered all over the Disney worlds. Goofy makes an excellent plan to find the research and end this whole crisis, but again, Donald has to be a dick. And there we go. Like I said, we all know this stuff already, so we don't need to waste more time on it. I got to say, Sora's reply to this all is very understandable.
Well, I didn't ask for this.
But unfortunately for Sora, the giant key chose him, so he just has to deal with it. He wonders about what happened to his friends, but Leon doesn't give an F about them. I guess you're still jelly, huh? However, Sora still gives an F, so he goes to look for them. But by another unfortunate turn of events, he doesn't find his friends. Instead, he runs into Goofy and Donald. But just before they can kill each other, a Transformer appears and challenges them to a fight. After the fight, Goofy invites Sora along on their journey. Sora wants to tag along, but wonders if he can find his friends at the same time as well. Of course, Donald lies and is being a dick, but Sora falls for this lie and tags along. But before they can leave, Sora has to practice his happy face. Meanwhile, at an unspecified location, the evil council of evil Disney villains is holding a meeting. They are discussing where their next dark, evil annual field trip should take place and wonder if Sora would tag along. They are not sure what Sora likes, so they are really scared to ask him. But Maleficent has a plan that will make Sora say yes even if he likes it or not. Now back to our heroes. They just arrived at the first world. Welcome to Wonderland. Ooh, a place of wonder and beauty. Ah yes, just so relaxing and calming. And oh god, what is that? I guess a lot has changed since the last time I watched this movie. Well, at least the tea parties as I remember. Oh please, no, make it stop. Okay, we are not going back there. Let's just forget that this has happened and move on to the next world. Our heroes arrive at the first world called the Deep Jungle. Donald is being a dick again, causing the Gumby ship to crash on the world. Because of the crash, the gang gets separated, but by coincidence, Sora lands into a treehouse. He's greeted by a cute cat, and what does Sora do? He tries to whack it with his giant key, of course, which makes the cat run away out of fear. The poor thing. Anyway, Sora is not alone for long, as Tarzan appears and has a nice talk with Sora. They talk for hours, sharing thoughts, hopes and dreams. They want to go on adventures together, explore the worlds and become best friends or even... Oh great, Goofy and Donald Dick found Sora, and of course Sora is not happy to see them, because this means that Sora and Tarzan's hopes and dreams together are all shattered. But after seeing Goofy and Donald, Tarzan seems pretty okay with those plans being off the table, which is totally understandable after seeing Donald. But most importantly, Tarzan is okay and wants to take Sora to the gorilla leader Kerchak. We find Kerchak high in the trees, but he doesn't like Sora and his friends. I can guess why. But he's willing to give us a chance. We have to prove to him that we are worthy. We do this by swinging on some vines, beating up some Heartless, saving a few gorillas and beating Clayton and his chameleon. So, a Claymeleon? Sora and friends have shown great strength and care for the gorillas that Kerchak now trusts them. He shows his trust in Sora by throwing him through the air like a ragdoll, as is tradition in the gorilla tribe. By a stroke of luck, Sora lands at the heart of the world, which is weirdly enough shaped as a keyhole. Meanwhile, Professor Tarzan is giving us a lecture about having friends and that you are a sad, heartless being if you don't have them. Ah, Disney, you always know what message you need to share. Means heart? What? I'm so confused. But yeah, after this enlightening conversation, Sora locks the heart of the deep jungle by finally using the giant key for what it was designed to do. Hereby, Sora locks a world and protects it from the Heartless, as they cannot enter this world anymore. And now that's all done, Sora and friends can say goodbye to Tarzan and set off to the next world. Alright, back on the road, or well, in this case, space. Next up, Olympus Coliseum, as Sora and friends really need some training, and what better place to do it than in a Coliseum. However, the Coliseum is only for heroes, so I guess we just have to move on. As Sora and friends are leaving the Coliseum, they meet Hades, the god of the underworld. He has an entry ticket for the Coliseum, but the poor guy doesn't have any friends to team up with. So he gives the entry ticket to Sora. And there is no way there's something suspicious about this, so into the Coliseum they go. Now, most of the challenges the Coliseum offered were pretty easy. There were some small dudes, some big dudes, an edge boy, and even a big doggo. However, they saved the worst for last, and you will need all your skills to beat those damn barrels. It were long and hard-fought battles, but Sora and friends beat the Coliseum. Now people must see Sora as a true hero. Wait, what? Top the junior hero? Hold on a minute. We beat all those challenges just for this BS meaningless title? Fuck that. Out of pure anger, Sora and friends burn the Coliseum down and set course to the next world. After a long trip, our heroes calmed down and arrived at Agrabah, where we see Jafar and Maleficent buying some goodies at the market. They are talking about the Evil Council of Evil Disney Villains annual field trip, as they finally figured out where they want to go. But they are still too scared to ask Sora to join them. What if he says no? So logically they still want to keep the trip a secret, but Princess Jasmine overheard the conversation and tells Sora. This of course angers Jafar, so out of revenge he throws Jasmine's boyfriend into the desert. But of course, instead of fixing her own problem, she sends Sora and friends to do it for her, the spoiled brat. So yeah, Sora calls an Uber to travel to the... Whoa, that was fast. This normally doesn't happen. I would have gladly given Mr. Carpet a 5-star rating, but it took him a whole flipping day to get us to our destination, so I'm sorry Mr. Carpet, but you only get 1 star. Our heroes find Aladdin and help him out. We didn't need to help him out, but just like his girlfriend, he lets other people fix his problems. And speaking of problems, I am really worried about Genie. I'm not sure, but maybe he's ill or something, as he looks so... how should I say it? Different than I remember him from the movie. Anyway, we tell Aladdin what happened to his girlfriend, and instead of using his wishes to save her, we decide to fly back to the palace to confront Jafar for being a big meanie. Once we arrive at the palace, Aladdin does use one of his wishes, but instead of wishing that the whole problem would be solved, he uses one wish just to help Jasmine. Now, is it just me, or does everybody get hit by stupidity when they try to use one of these wishes? Anyway, it should not come as a surprise that this help wish fails, and I totally agree with Jafar's words.
Denied! Sit down!
In the end, Jafar steals the lamp from Aladdin and disappears. Sora and friends go after Jafar because, well, Aladdin and Jasmine are both too spoiled to fix their own problems. Our heroes find Jafar inside a giant lion head in the middle of the desert. He uses one of his wishes to make himself an all-powerful genie. The lamp doesn't only fulfill wishes, but also makes you a complete idiot. Though I gotta say, Genie Jafar looks...
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Anyway, just like Aladdin, Jafar uses a wish without thinking and gets sucked into his lamp. Then Sora uses his giant key to close the world, and our Uber driver gives us a nice ride back home. And hereby all the problems are fixed. Though I got the feeling that we forgot something? It's probably not important. Meanwhile, at the evil council of evil Disney villains, Maleficent is not happy that the information about her surprise annual field trip has been leaked to Sora. But in the end, she's not worried, as Riku promised her to help her with her all-evil plan to make Sora join them. In turn, Maleficent will give Riku that girl from the beginning of the game that I still don't know the name of. If it's really important, I will remember it at some point in this video. For now, let's just focus on what's important, like our hero's next world, Atlantica. Our heroes enter Atlantica and are greeted by Ariel, who wants to teach our heroes how to swim. For you see, Atlantica is a water level, and as we all know, water levels in gaming are the best thing ever. Especially underwater boss battles. They are absolutely amazing. Anyway, Sebastian gives our heroes a quick swim lesson pop-up, but the pop-up is cut short as the Heartless attacks our heroes. Sora bashes their head in with his giant key until they are dead, but Sebastian fears that they might go to the palace and that the king is in danger. I mean, the ruler of the sea, which is also the guy with the almighty magic fork, can't protect himself and therefore has to rely on kids to do it for him. So to the palace we go, and we are just in time to see the guy save himself with his magic fork. Thank goodness our heroes were there to protect him by being absolutely useless. Anyway, the king is glad to see that his daughter is safe and shows us that in the typical Disney way of verbally abusing his daughter. This causes Ariel to cry and run away, I mean swim away. Our heroes go after her and find her in her cry cave where we make a shocking discovery. Her cry cave is filled with loads of old junk that she definitely doesn't use. In other words, Ariel is a first-class hoarder. And as we all know, hoarding is a serious problem. Therefore, Sora and friends want to help her. We do this by slowly starting to clean out the cave. But during the big cleanup, Ariel's father bursts in and ruins the fun by making Ariel cry and swim off again. While all this typical Disney drama was happening in the background, our heroes finished cleaning the cave and, oh, what's this? There's a keyhole? Wow. That was actually pretty easy. Imagine how painful this whole level could have been if we had to do, I don't know, an annoying two-faced boss battle or something. But luckily we don't have to imagine that because that definitely didn't happen. However, we could help Ariel with her daddy issues. But on the other hand, it looks like Ursula got that issue covered, so I guess we can leave. After another successful adventure, Sora and friends set sail to another world, but all of a sudden they are overtaken by a pirate ship. It's clear that the pirate ship is going faster than the speed limit, which is pretty dangerous. So Sora and friends decide to beam themselves on board of the pirate ship and have a word with the driver. But it turns out Riku has been driving this ship all along. He invites Sora to join the evil council of evil Disney villains annual field trip, but there is a twist. The almighty master plan. He cannot refuse the invitation. Therefore, there's only one thing Sora can do, and that is to agree to join the field trip, but he wants to bring his new friends along with him. This makes Riku a jelly monster and makes Sora choose between his new and old friends. The choice at first seems hard as well, you know. But then Riku involves someone in this choice, which makes it a lot easier. Riku is not happy with Sora's choice, so he throws him and his friends into the brig. There they meet Peter Pan, but also an annoying fly. As Sora hates flies, the outcome of what happens next is very logically. Meanwhile, Peter Pan has opened the jail door and asks Sora and friends if they want to team up with him, as he and Sora are both looking for a useless woman. Together they make it through the ship and find Wendy in the captain's quarters. While Peter Pan looks after her, Sora and friends fight against Darkling? I guess Kingdom Hearts isn't just a crossover between Disney and Final Fantasy. Oh, well, Sora beats the living heck out of him and sends him back to Hyrule. Alright, one useless woman found, only one more to go. We keep searching for her, but on the deck, Captain Hook tells Sora and friends that Riku was so jelly that he took the other useless woman with him to the Hollow Bastion. So our heroes set sail to the Hollow Bastion. I mean, there's no real need to save her, but I guess Disney morals and stuff. Anyway, our heroes arrive at the Hollow Bastion with the gummy ship, but instead of landing near the top, Sora and friends decided to start from the bottom. Now that we are here, Sora and friends can start making their way up the bastion. At the base of the bastion, we find Mr. Beast, who is trying to find new Twitch streamers to donate loads of money to. But Riku is such meanie that he doesn't want to tell him new streamers. Sora tries to calm down Mr. Beast, but pays no attention to Riku, who steals Sora's giant key. He did give him a wooden sword in return, which is actually a better trade if you ask me. I mean, an actual sword or a giant key. Easy choice. But now that Sora doesn't have a giant key, Donald, Dick and Goofy think Sora is a loser, so they join Riku. But who needs them anyway? Sora now has Mr. Beast. Together they will find Twitch streamers to donate loads of money to. But first they're gonna take revenge on Riku for being such big meanie and a jelly monster. Together they make their way through the Hollow Bastion, killing some Heartless and solving some puzzles along the way. Halfway through the Hollow Bastion, we meet again with the meanie jelly monster, though now Riku is also a Darkness Edge boy. Sora gives a heartwarming speech, which is so cool that Donald and Goofy join him again. Also, he steals the giant key back from Riku, which is the last straw for him. He attacks Sora and friends, but he cannot beat them. Meanwhile, Maleficent is having an evil monologue with herself as all the other people in the room are ignoring her. Wow, that's just really rude. And it hurts Maleficent's feelings. Now everything is ruined for her. Sora finally wants to come to the annual field trip, but everyone is just ignoring her and all her evil friends are dead. Wait, what? Right, Sora might hit some people too hard on their heads with that giant key. Poor Maleficent, nobody likes her and all her friends are dead. No wonder that she turns into a dragon. Sora and friends of course tried to help her by ending her suffering. This turned dark very quickly. But hey, there's Riku. Still going through your edgelord phase, huh? Riku shows his giant key which looks darker and edgy, therefore it's better than Sora's giant key. He also explains to Sora that what's-her-face is, well, she's... How should I say it, Sora?
Kyrie's inside me?
Alright. It's how... You know what, Sora? If you and what's-her-face are happy together this way, then I'm happy for you guys. Just don't say these kinds of things out loud next time. Anyway, another fight between Riku and Sora breaks out, but again Riku loses and runs off. He forgets his dark giant key, which apparently holds the power to unlock other people's hearts. Sora wants to use this giant key now as it's dark and edgy and therefore cooler than the other one. But unfortunately Sora slips and accidentally stabs himself with the giant key and oh! Now everything seems lost as Sora is evolving and what's-her-face gets surrounded by Heartless and some random guy suddenly appears. But then Riku goes Super Saiyan and keeps the random guy busy so that our heroes can run away. But what's-her-face sucks at running away, therefore our heroes are surrounded by enemies yet again. Luckily for them, Sora is there to save them. It turns out by stabbing himself with the cool giant key, Sora evolved into a cool heartless creature and made loads of new friends. But of course, what's-her-face has to ruin it by de-evolving him back to normal. I mean, seriously, why do you have to spoil the fun for everyone? Anyway, Sora is back to normal, now everyone orders him to lock the final door and beat this random guy who's called Ansem. If Sora and friends would do this, all the worlds will be saved from the darkness and everything will turn back to normal. Which sounds like a good reason to fight this Ansem guy, but let's be honest. The Disney princesses just want to get rid of all these people because they can't stand people that think differently than they do. While at the same time, the Final Fantasy characters just can't stand the fact that Ansem looks like he's part of the Final Fantasy boy band, but actually isn't. Sora and friends go after this Ansem guy just so that they don't have to listen to all these people complaining. But to reach Ansem, our heroes have to go to his house, which is a bit of a complicated thing to do as he lives in a rather exotic location. To get to his front door, our heroes have to travel over an endless lake, through a crystal mine, some wormholes and a void containing a demon bat. After a long trip, our heroes finally made it to the front door of Ansem's house, but it turns out his house is not only located in an exotic location, but also in a bad neighborhood, as light doesn't reach this place. Well, in that case, let's just make it quick. Enter his house, smack him with the giant key and leave. Oh no, we're back at this dreadful place. And it's the exact same as the beginning of the game. Sora's there, Riku is there, what's-her-face is... Wait, she's not here? Well, maybe it's not that bad. No, never mind. Riku started another edgy dialogue. Remember last time when he did this? We have to stop him before something bad happens. Luckily, it's not really Riku, but Ansem in disguise. He continues the edgy cool dialogue, but Sora has to ruin it by talking about light and stuff he learned on his long journey and blah 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 blah. Start fighting already! After an easy fight, Ansem is beaten, but as typical Disney villain, he starts wasting his final breath by talking about how fighting evil is pointless and that you can never win, as the door to the darkness cannot be closed. Yet, it doesn't stop our heroes from trying to close the door. However, their attempt seems futile, until Riku appears on the other side. Together they push against the door, and as it's slowly closing, the darkness is gathering to stop our heroes. And you know things are seriously hopeless when Donald Dick is right about something. But as you should know by now, this is a Disney story, aka Mickey Mouse comes in at the very end and saves the day. He and Riku help Sora to close the door by sacrificing themselves. Wait, hold on. These kind of things never happen in a Disney story. What the heck is it doing here? Well, at least Sora and What's-Her-Face live happily ever after. What, they don't? What the hell? Oh my god, that's so sad. What the heck is this kind of Disney story? Anyway, the darkness is beaten. Light is returning to all Disney worlds. What's-Her-Face is being dumped back on the island, and everything is as it should be. What an adventure. We went to so many different worlds. Sora went from zero to hero. Riku became an edgelord, and somehow we didn't need Donald Dick to heal us. But we cannot ignore the doggo in the room, as he has the keys to the gummy ship, which is the only way for Sora to get back home. Therefore, the race is on to catch him, and hereby our hero's next adventure is about to begin. And that is a casual recap of Kingdom Hearts 1.5.